Hello. Thank you for dropping in, and as always, welcome to everybody, but specifically new subscribers. We have just pushed through the 500 mark of subscribers, which in YouTube terms is pitifully few. But do you know what? I'm happy with that. That works for me. I'd like to know a little bit more about you. I don't know if you are beginners, amateurs, advanced amateurs. I don't know who I'm talking to. So any information, feedback you're prepared to give me in the comments below or over on the Facebook page is going to be very welcome. We're going to look at a little video clip that I shot yesterday in a town just up the road from me. It's a village, the next village on the road up from me, and it's a autocross event. I'll say that again, it's an autocross event. Not something I'm particularly keen on or interested in, but you know, here in the countryside, if anything moves, I will go there and take some pictures of it. I've made a number of mistakes in this video and we'll possibly discuss them afterwards. But in the meantime, let's look at the video. So, nothing particularly remarkable about the video. Here come the excuses. Saturday morning I had worked quite hard in the garden, trimming and cutting. It's the time of year to clear up and clean up and cut back. And my hedge trimmer started to falter and then she refused to work. So I had taken that apart, cleaned the plug, blown the air filter, done the first aid sort of things that we all do, and it hadn't worked. This was frustrating. In the afternoon, what's it got to do with photography? Very little. I'm making excuses now as to why that video wasn't up to perhaps what I would like to think is a standard that I'm able to achieve. In the afternoon, I had planned to go to this autocross event and it was very hot. I wasn't looking forward to it. I knew that it would be noisy and dusty because I went there last year. The late afternoon arrived and I pushed myself out to go and take a few pictures. But the mistake I made is that I thought, you know what, I'm not going to take all the kit and caboodle, I'll just take the 200 to 500 on a gimbal head and a monopod and see if I can't get some shots with that and that alone. Mistake. Because once I got there and got myself set up and realised that this year they have restricted the public to a certain amount of space, which allows you a very good view of the track, but it's for an overview for the spectators and not specifically for photographers who want to get that, you know, corner as it comes round, two wheels. No. So that was a little bit disconcerting, excuse number 2. Clouds of dust, fumes, noise, heat, excuses 3, 4 and 5, and I'm not really that interested in autocross. They look like rather privileged young men. When I say privileged, what do I mean? They're burning a lot of money on this hobby, and it's round and round a track, which never really does it for me. The cars themselves are neither glamorous or particularly interesting. They're aging, two-door small family saloons, all those little big boys go-karts, which, you know, are tricked up, and yeah, not my sort of thing. I couldn't get anything very interesting out of the competitors. You can't see the guys. They're in these huge helmets with what I assume are dust filters or something stuck on their mouths. So no shots of the pilots, which is what we call the drivers here in France, pilots. And on it went. But I suppose the biggest mistake I made was to try and shoot video on a monopod with a long lens. Mistake 6, mistake 7, almost unbelievable. I'd taken the vibration reduction control off because I was on a monopod. Mistake 8 or 9, I've lost count. I suddenly went into 50th and 100th of a second exposure times, thinking I'd get some movement or some blur that we... What an error! What was I thinking? What I've noticed about me is that I tend to get distracted, or my photographic theory, which is solid here at home when I'm thinking about things or planning things, goes to pot when I get out in the field. I seem to lose what I've self-taught and do bizarre things. What this little video is about really is holding up my hands and saying, you know, I sometimes, no, quite often, get it terribly wrong and make hideous mistakes. Well, the upshot of all that was that I came back with a batch of shots that were completely useless for the bin. And the others that were left, which were few, I tricked up and I overworked in Lightroom and Photoshop to try and compensate for what I had not achieved as a photographer with the basic tools out in the field. I think it's quite nice to confess inadequacies from time to time. I wouldn't want to give the impression that I am any kind of slick Mick. I really am learning and will continue to learn. And that's why I hope that you and I will go on together and be able to share some of these experiences. So, not a very interesting video, badly shot. The shots, the stills, not going to win any prizes. So no big cigar on this one. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which hopefully will be a lot better than this one. Bye.